Hello students, once again welcome to English Literature Classroom. Today my topic is Hearts and Hands, written by O. Henry, chapter 4, page number 69. Clear? This topic is for class 9 as well as class 10. Let me once again remind you the name of the book. It's ICSE Treasure Trove. Clear? Now, before starting, let me tell you something about the author O. Henry. William Sidney Porter was an American writer who wrote under the pen name O. Henry. His short stories are well known for their ready wit, gentle humor, and surprise ending. Now, let me tell you something about the story. The story Hearts and Hands describes the chance encounter on a train between two acquaintances, Miss Fairchild and Mr. Easton. The situation turns awkward when Miss Fairchild notices that Easton is handcuffed to a grim looking man. The man intervenes to save Easton from embarrassment and prevent the girl from discovering the truth about him. It is only through the observations of their fellow passengers that the reader is made aware of the real nature of the relationship between the two men handcuffed to each other. Now, let's see the setting of the story. The story is set on a train, and the train is B&M Express. Clear? The entire action is confined to one of the coaches in the train, where a young, beautiful, and elegantly dressed lady. Okay, now in the train there was a young woman. Okay, she was dressed in elegant taste and surrounded by all the luxuries, comforts of an experienced traveler. Now, it is at the Denver station that the two characters in the story board the train. Okay, one of them is an old friend of Miss Fairchild. His name is Mr. Easton, and he's handsome young man. The other man with him is rough, fat, and glum-faced. Throughout the story, the passengers have a light conversation. Thus, the story depicts a casual, unassuming atmosphere. Okay, now I told you the other two characters. Okay, apart from the lady, there are other two characters. And who are the other two characters? One, handsome presence with a bold, frank countenance and narrate and manner. The other, a ruffled, glum-faced person, heavily built and roughly dressed. Okay, the two were handcuffed together. Okay, pay attention to this line. The two were handcuffed together. Now, let's tell something about the story. Okay, the story begins on a train. Okay, that I told you just few minutes ago. The story begins on a train to Denver. An elegantly dressed lady named Miss Fairchild was seated in one coach. When the two men arrived and took the seat facing her, it quickly became clear that the woman knew one of the men. She spoke to the man called Mr. Easton and was rather surprised to discover that he was handcuffed to the man seated beside him. As Easton greeted the young woman, he slightly raised his right hand, bound at the wrist by the shining bracelet to the left one of his companion. Clear? Look, as soon as the girl saw that shining bracelet, what happened? Okay, the glow faded from her cheeks. Okay, her lips parted in vague, relaxing distress. Okay, now, however, the man with Easton sensed Easton's embarrassment and volunteered to clear the doubt in Miss Fairchild's mind about the handcuff and said that Easton was the marshal and he was the convict, and they were headed for Leavenworth prison. It is 7 years for counterfeiting. Easton said. As the conversation continued, the woman was surprised to learn that Easton had given up his life in Washington to become a marshal in the West. Okay, clear? Look here. Now, what is that glum-faced man telling? He's taking me. Okay, he has referred to Easton. Okay, he's taking me to Leavenworth prison. It is 7 years for counterfeiting. Okay, just because the marshal, that is the glum-faced man, he is the real marshal. He wanted to save Easton from his embarrassment, and that is the reason he's telling this line. Clear? Now, the young woman kept on chatting with her acquaintances but continued to stare at the handcuffs. Okay? She continued to stare at the handcuffs. To raise her concern, the scruffy looking man asked Easton to accompany him to the smoker car. Okay? What did that man tell? That let's go to the smoker. Okay, car. Okay, growled the glum faced man. This isn't quite fun. I'm needing a drink. Okay, I'm needing a drink and have not had a smoke all day. Have not you talked long enough? Take me in the smoker now, won't you? I'm half dead for pipe. Okay, now all the while, when Miss Fairchild was talking to the two men, two other passengers seated nearby were listening to the conversation. One of them remarked that from his appearance, Mr. Easton appeared to be too young to be a marshal. The other eavesdropping passengers corrected the mistake, saying Mr. Easton was not the marshal, he was the convict, because no marshal would handcuff his own right hand. Okay, in the end, we come to see this. Okay, young, exclaimed the first speaker. Why, oh, did not you catch on? Say, did you ever known an officer to handcuff a prisoner to his right hand? Okay, now he's telling that officer never handcuffs to a prisoner to his right hand. Okay, with this I am concluding the story. In my next video I am going to give the question pattern. Until then, goodbye.